Josh. You did a good job on this. You were really clear who and what for your thesis, and you explained clearly what an EITC program is. And you make a really good point that you can do this without asking employers to pay something. It's a really good idea. It makes a lot of sense. Well done. All right, next steps. There's a federal EITC, and you talked about 26 other states having these. So if you could just add a sentence or two to clarify that you're talking about adding a state EITC to the federal EITC, that would be helpful to me. And to go along with that, it would only be for state income tax, right? So is that going to make a big difference for people? Is the amounts that you make and so forth going to be the same for the state as it would for the federal? And how much state tax do people pay in the state of Washington? Are state taxes pretty high there, so this is going to be a big deal? Or are they kind of low, so it's really not going to help people that much? All right. Second, you talk about them being less poor, and you say, well, it's raising them above the poverty level, but you realize those two things may not be the same thing. You know, if you're making $2,000 a year and you don't have to pay any taxes on it, that means you're $200 more rich, but that doesn't get you above the poverty level. So, just to be aware of that. Let's see here. Yeah, and if you can get some numbers, that would be helpful. How many people would be raised above the poverty level by Washington State EITC compared with how many would get above the poverty level with minimum wage change? I don't know how you would find that information, but I bet you a dime that the librarians could be pretty useful to you. All right, what else? Page 1, paragraph 2. You talk about how the great thing about an EITC is it targets people who make less money. Well, that's probably true for the minimum wage too, so I just wasn't as clear as to why you put that in there. And here's the kind of the kicker. How much would this thing cost Washington State? Are other people going to have to pay more taxes so that the people who are poor pay fewer taxes? I could see how that would make sense, and that's probably what it would need to be. It would probably be fair enough, but not everyone always sees it that way. So that's just something to keep in mind too. It may be that everyone actually is going to be paying for it. I mean, someone has to pay for it. The state doesn't just magically generate money. Okay, so good start. Full credit.